right, yeah, get this party started. Everybody's jumping in. All right. Good afternoon. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Give it a few seconds for everybody to jump in. All right. Sweet. What is up, everybody? What is up? All right, real quick. I know we were doing this like every single session, and except for including the ones where I forget to say it. But if you want to connect with other recruiters that are absolutely growing in 2025, drop your LinkedIn profile if you want to connect with other people, and feel free to run with them, uh, you know grow with them. I mean, it's you get to create the bubble that you want to be in. So we are on day 4 of the Sales and Business Development Summit. And it's definitely been a little bit of an AI focus today. But I also know that AI can also help 5x or 10x what you're doing. And actually, I got one of my good friends and Deep, who's also a friend of pretty much everybody up at the higher echelons of Clay too. I know when I actually had a conversation with some Clay execs, and I was like, "Hey, who's your best AI person that you know?" And they're like, "Deep," and I'm like, "I was already talking to Deep." So excited to have him back again. I know he shared at the AI summit earlier this or mid last year, and excited to have him sharing today. So I'm going to let you run with it, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Benjamin. Thank you for the kind words. Super excited to be here and sharing some of the good things that I've learned through my journey with the community today. So I think everyone can see my screen. I am going to be speaking and covering about building AI-powered growth systems for recruitment, primarily driven by, I would say, AI and all of the cutting-edge tools that we see in the market out there. So again, my name is Deep. I am the founder of FEFlow. I used to work with a lot of startups in leadership roles, and then I turned to starting my own recruitment agency, scaled it to 7 figures using AI and automation. This was back in 2021. And then I clearly saw that a lot of people could actually use some of the good things that I had learned in replicating those systems and processes and workflows in their own day-to-day operation. That's where I started FEFlow to help recruitment and staffing agencies leverage these cutting-edge tools, including Clay and Relevance AI. So what do? We design and build AI-powered growth systems. You can think of anything from automated outbound recruiting to business development, personalized BD workflows, including MPCs and all the good things that I'm going to cover later in the presentation today. And also we do a whole bit of designing the entire tech stack for recruitment agencies where we help all these different workflows and AI agents also communicate with their existing systems. And yeah, I mean, the entire world is excited about AI, agents in 2025. And that is something that we've also started exploring and implementing for some of the clients. So yeah, I'll move to the next slide. And I mean, it's been pretty interesting how recruitment has evolved over the last few years, and I would say over the last few decades. So we used to do, I mean, everyone uh, was more involved, I would say, hands-on with a lot of manual processes and sourcing, screening, outreach, doing research about their clients, sending emails, or reaching out to them on LinkedIn. And today, a lot of that has changed. I mean, since the time AI has started coming in, we see a lot of those changes. And in different industries. I mean, not just recruitment, but I think recruitment is now starting to catch up with all the good things that are possible with AI. And that's where we see a lot of these workflows being built, which can help us not just do research on the company or find or build streaming list of jobs, but also understand the entire context on who is probably looking for your services, or could be a potential lead for you to reach out at the right time, and also involve or get engaged with them using their recent activities on LinkedIn or social media, and so on. So that is where we stand today. And the way, as I see in the future, a lot is gonna be coming through 2025, especially with AI agents. I see a lot of the systems currently in the workflows being built in silos. So, for example, we live in our ATS and CRMs today, but all these workflows that actually exist from a BD standpoint are, they're disconnected. They're not really talking to a system. So a lot of that is going to change. I think the way softwares are being built today, or it's become very easy. I would say relatively easier for us to be building softwares. If you haven't checked out lovable.dev, you should give that a try. I've been playing with it since the last few weeks, I would say, and it's mind blowing. Like, you can design your own CRM, you can build your own apps, and I feel we're going to be entering into a world very soon where these systems are going to be built for very niche categories, niche sectors, and one size fit all kind of SaaS play is going to be a thing of the past. And that is where we're going to see a lot of these AI agents also coming in, where we would be able to control our own AI agents to be driving some of these workflows and talking to our systems. We already see, AI voice interview coming in. There are now AI bots that can actually do video screening calls with the candidates in a real time. There are AI, I would say, voice networking platforms like Bodywing, coming to life. So it's a pretty exciting world. And I'm going to cover up some of these things that we're living in the present, with how that looks in the future. I just want to be sure I'm not missing out on any questions. Okay, so we're good so far. Amazing. So, what do we have in the recruitment, in the era of AI in the recruitment space today? So, if I just broadly divide it into three broad categories: BD, talent acquisition, and everything else. Today, there are so many good tools out there that can be used. So it can get overwhelming at times to be using and exploring and understanding which tool works, or which AI model works best for what use case. But I think if you actually understand the right context, and you have a clear objective in mind, narrowing down the right tool can become super, I would say, easy to navigate with. So we can today use AI to do research. There's a lot of good list building we can do. People talk about static list, which is just one-off list, but today a lot can be done just building dynamic lists, where, say, for example, if a job was posted 24 hours back, you can build a list that automatically keeps updating every 24 hours. In fact, there are ways that you can even do it every hour as well. Say, be it on LinkedIn, be it on Indeed or any other platform. You can build real-time lists of companies getting funded, or they're looking to expand in new geographies. So a lot can be done by the intent using AI and some of these good no-code scraping tools. And of course, we use it a lot for BD outreach as well as social engagement. And interestingly, talent acquisition side, I feel is still less talked about these days. Um, I think a lot of people are still relying on some static list, but you can actually end to end build your own workflows today on the best source of truth or for talent, I would say. So, for example, on LinkedIn, you can build your own workflows wherein you can connect it back to Clay, and then you can again connect it back to different agents and see if they can actually help you do a lot of these candidate or talent screening, or even lets you ask questions for that matter related to a particular role directly within your existing workflow itself. I spoke a little bit about AI interviewers, so I'm going to cover more on that later in this presentation. And then, of course, there's, we see we've been implementing a lot of chatbots for our clients, specifically on, say the careers page or overall on the website, because you can actually use, RB2. There are tools you can use to de-anonymize who's visiting your website, which can again trigger good workflows. But you can also engage with them. People like to use chat gpt, and all the good, have readily access to information, and they can chat with the conversational chatbot on your website itself, wherein the bot can be specifically trained on your industry, your company, and the roles that you're looking to hire for. And the same can be done with inbox management. We can have AI to skim through the emails, tag different emails, reply to candidates with your availability or Calendly link, and so that you can focus most of your time on, building relationships, talking to people, instead of doing anything else, which manually takes a lot of your time. So yeah, I'm just gonna see here the questions. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna move to the next slide here. Oops. I was using this platform for the first time for the presentation, so I think should be good here now. Okay, so moving to, I'll start with business development and how can you use AI in business development workflows today. So the most common cases that we see are job posting triggered outreach. So if you've been spending time on LinkedIn trying to see who has posted these jobs, what do these companies do, who are the key decision makers in these companies that I should probably be reaching out to, and if they're a good fit, all that entire process can actually be automated today. You can, I can, you can use, there are scrapers like Apify, or Browse AI, and so many good ones out there that you can use to build a streaming list of all the jobs that are posted. And inside Clay, you can actually qualify them as your ICP. So the workflow that you see here is primarily the same workflow that I'm talking about. You can find the jobs that are posted, you can build, that will give you the list of companies who are hiring. And then using Clay, you can use AI and other functionalities to see if they are a good fit for you. You obviously do not want to be reaching out to other recruitment agencies, for example. So you can skip them. You can give them a score of 0 so that they don't reflect in your targeted list. And then you can again, using Clay, find the key decision makers, and be able to then, find their email, validate the email, use some good tools like Twain, or there are a lot more good ones, other good ones as well. And based on the research that the AI does, in this entire workflow, you can personalize your email outreach copy, and in fact do a multi-channel outreach on, it could be on, Lemlist or La Growth Machine or whatever other platform that you prefer. So all this can be automated today. You can also find, if, for example, someone is a marketing agency and or they are in a specific field, you can actually evaluate the kind of people who are already there, what the company does, see what the potential gap of talent is, and then again reach out to them. So you can get very smart and creative with some of these things. You can use it to monitor, say, for example, that you have 15, 20 odd clients and you want to be the first one to know if they've actually posted a new job on their career page. So you can use a lot of these agents to actually monitor those careers page and inform you as soon as a new job has been posted, so that you can, probably reach out to them sooner. Similarly, a lot of other triggers, I mean, funding, expansion news, product launch. You think of it and you can use, these no-code tools and platforms to actually monitor or track these signals, so to say. Multi-channel outreach can be, I know a lot of our clients used to use Dripify. There are a lot of other good ways, also other tools that you can use as well. But in the new age, you can, connect some of these sequencing tools like Limlist and Lagrowth Machine with Clay. So all your personalization actually happens inside Clay with AI and all the research that is done inside Clay. And then you can personalize, you can use, push those messages, build a workflow inside Limlist to see, if you have a work email, then you can trigger a email sequencing step. If you don't, you can actually just directly start pushing the LinkedIn steps. That is, you can send a connection request. You can follow up with a message automatically. If they don't respond, you can drop a voice note, personalized voice note to them. So all that is possible. These are some of the common use cases on the BD side. Um, but I just want to take a pause here and see if anyone has any questions. Okay, so looks like we're good so far. Great. So now I'm going to move to some of the flows that have particularly worked well with us, so with our clients. So the first one is MPC. I covered this in my last summit talk as well. The way MPC is traditionally, I mean, this is one of the best performing, I would say, workflows for most of the staffing and recruitment agencies, where you talk to so many good candidates every day and or every week. You are not able to find the right job. You might not have the right role for them right away. So you can build out this entire MPC workflow where you have the candidates that you want to be able to market to companies, and you can have a streaming list of jobs that are posted every day, figure out, qualify these companies, and see which companies are actually matching the candidates or your MPC. Personalize the messaging based on what your notes from your interview or interaction with your candidate, as well as based on the job description, and then automatically find the key decision makers in these companies and reach out to them. You can see, this is again, I can probably give you a quick overview also on this, but let me just do this actually. I'll go here and just pull up client acquisition. So yeah, we built a 3-table setup here. This was covered last time as well, but I'll do a quick overview on this. So you have the talent, jobs, and KDMs. In the talent table, that's where you put all your, the MPC talent profile here, and AI is able to generate everything based on their LinkedIn profile as well as taking in your notes here. And then we have a jobs table, this is more like a job streaming table wherein the jobs are updated every day. And then you can use again some scoring model to qualify, disqualify the companies here. And again, connect and find then, based on the candidate criteria, the kind of companies that the candidate is interested in. You can again have a scoring model to qualify those companies. And then you find the key decision makers in those companies inside Clay itself. And then you're able to just personalize the messaging and add them to the campaign and reach out to them. So this is completely possible, and this is the one of the, I would say, most highly requested campaign from most of our clients, and we've seen some good success with this. And then we have job change monitoring. So you can do this inside Clay as well, wherein you can monitor up to 3,000 odd profiles. So think of, say you've been in the business for good 15, 20 years. You would have interacted with so many good candidates, as well as some of those candidates might be in leadership roles today. Or you also have some good clients that you probably want to, track, say, key decision makers on the client side. So if you can actually monitor these advocates that you've had good relationship with in the past, and see whenever they change a job or move to a new company, that can be a very good trigger, a very good signal, or very good timing to actually reach out to them, because you can directly reach out to them if you get to know someone has changed a job or moved to a new leadership role. You can reach out to them and see if they already know someone else who's probably hiring. or who's probably looking for a change. So you can definitely use that as a candidate, sourcing kind of a strategy as well. B, you can reach out to the company. This candidate just recently left, and check with the key decision makers there or the hiring manager there if they've already backfilled the role. And third, you can reach out to the new employer and see if they're still looking for more people to hire, similar to the candidate that they've just recently hired, or someone that you were connected to. So it's a very powerful workflow. You can build this inside Clay as well, but the only, I would say, restriction there is it lets you use maximum, I think 3,000 profiles is what you can track. But if you were to do it otherwise, you can, we can build this inside using Airtable and make.com as well with leveraging Clay. And we are able to, the good thing is you can get real-time notification. You can set this tracker to actually track changes every day, every week based on your requirements. And it can automatically then personalize the messaging, and you can even see the ones that you want to reach out. So let me show you real quick here the kind of setup that we have had for this. So this is the job monitoring one. So the first table would have, say, all the people that you want to track. This is just a small data that I have put in here, but you can have all these people that I wanted to track here, and I am using a mix of Airtable as well as Relevance AI here, which runs and checks if these records exist, and then I'm informed based on the job monitoring. I am the mechanism here where I get to know if someone has actually changed the job or changed the company, or there is just no change. And based on the changes here, this data goes to a new table, which is this table. And here we see, I've divided it again into three parts. So the new key decision maker, this is the key decision makers in the companies, you know, the person has joined. And you can reach out to these folks now automatically and see if they might be looking for someone like this new person. And you can also similarly reach out to the previous key decision maker to see if they've already backfilled the role, or they might be looking or might be interested in your help. So this is again a very super useful workflow that can be used in. I think triggers like these are the ones that actually helps you stand out from the rest of the crowd as well. Most of the common use cases I've shared earlier. Again, everyone is able to, generally everyone leverages that today. So anything that is more real time, more creative, more signal based and personalized is something that definitely helps you stand out. Okay, so moving to the next one. You can use social signals as well with AI. So what I mean by that is there are so many people on LinkedIn that probably might be out of your network, or you might not be aware. They're talking about hiring for some critical roles, or there are thought leaders that you want to monitor and see if they can be of, you can engage with them, or you can probably just for, keeping track of trends in the industry, or staying abreast with the latest in the industry as well. So you can do all that with Trigify. You can set up three kind of different tracking mechanisms here. So social listening, if someone is using certain keywords, or super handy if you, so for example, you're tracking hiring or recruitment for that matter. You can use You'll every day be able to get a fresh list of people who have written about it or who are talking on LinkedIn about it. And then you can also track thought leaders and also your own engagement. So people who actually engage with your content in the past, you can automatically push all these folks again into Clay. And inside Clay, you can again qualify them based on whatever parameters that you see in. So, for example, it could be based on you can check if they have actually they're looking to hire someone, if they're not a recruitment agency, and if they're in the right geography or in your own niche, right? So that becomes the overall qualifying criteria. And then again, based on their LinkedIn content as well as their profile, you can enrich their profile and the company details, and again, personalize the entire messaging, or even use it as a manual. I mean, you can also use it as for your own list keeping as well. If you get to know people who are talking about recruitment in your industry and what a thought leader is saying, or you want to engage with the people who are already engaging with your content, I mean, that in itself is a lot of hours saved through the week with a very good targeted list of people that you would be interested, you might want to be engaging with. So you can, use that as a good list to engage or reach out to the people as well, or you can automate it also to a good extent, wherein at least the connection request or engaging with their content is already automated and sent out. Some of the results that we have had from building some of these use cases. Again, I would say this with a disclaimer though. This it varies by the industry, by the niche that you operate in. I always tell my clients that AI is not going to help you. Um, are it's not going to help do any magic on your behalf. But yes, if you're able to get success, if you've had some success with the manual outreach, doing things manually, AI can definitely help you do that at scale. It can definitely help you save a lot of good time, and probably it can also help you rinse and repeat and build a playbook of it, which would have else taken you probably weeks on your own. So you would see here that the reply rates vary all the way from, I would say, 3% all the way up to 10%. This is more on the client acquisition side. And again, it depends on, if you're probably in the AI recruiting space, looking for clients in the area, your response rates are going to be a lot higher. But if you're in a space where overall industry dynamics are not in your favor, then probably the response rates are going to be low. So it again a lot depends on how you position yourself, the kind of niche you operate in, and the industry dynamics as well in your industry. Cool. Um, so someone asked here, is Airtable a part of Clay or is it a separate app? So Airtable is a completely separate app. I would say I think of it like a flexible CRM. You can think of it like a spreadsheet, but a very sophisticated spreadsheet wherein you can also automate a lot of your workflows in data enrichments, and you can connect it with a lot of other external apps. So I recall I had built Airtable CRM for a client last year. And the beauty of that entire CRM is that you can also spin off a job board with software on top of it. That's another platform. But also you get to customize a lot of the functionalities that you want to have for your own business, and not really get bogged down by using old age CRM or functionalities that are of no use to you. So you can do a lot of customization there, and you can also have it as a portal. So it's very powerful. I would say Airtable is completely different than Clay. Clay is something which is generally used for data enrichments. They have 100 plus integration with different data providers, and you can also connect it with web flows and API connects to external platforms. So think of Clay as the middleware, your brain, where all the action actually happens. And then you can connect it to different softwares or different toolings outside of Clay itself for, say, sending out email, or even if you want to connect it to another AI agent to do some research, who can get you the results inside. Though Clay has a Clay agent, but just in case you need to feed the AI agent with a lot of good knowledge base, or train the AI on specific use cases, you can also do that by externally connecting it. Um, cool. Okay. So moving to talent sourcing, I have been using this and building this for our clients from a long time. In fact, I think this is where I started my clay journey. I wanted to be in a position where I'm able to find candidates, passive candidates, at a very short period of time and reach out to them using AI and being able to drive some good results. Because at the end of the day, I think your fulfillment rate, I would say the number of roles that you're able to fulfill depends on factors like how fast are you able to get to the right candidates, how fast are you able to actually evaluate them, interview with them, and then present to your client as well. And the number of roles you close obviously leads is a direct conversion to the kind of engagement you have with your client as well, and that leads to repeat number of more open recs coming to you. So it's a good loop wherein if you can expedite this process, you have a higher chances of success rate fulfilling the roles as well. So I can walk you through this real quick, but I use this on top of LinkedIn itself. So I go to Sales Navigator, and there are workflows built behind the scene which actually push the entire list of talent to my clay tables. So let me just open my clay tables here. So say I'm hiring for a particular job description. There is I'm hiring for a particular role. Sorry, you'll have to just add your job description here and the domain of the company. So say for example, I'm hiring for a client in the renewable space. They're a developer, infrastructure developer, and very highly vested into solar and wind energy. Say let's say that example, and they're looking for a project finance director. So I've added few inputs here for the role. I've added the domain here, and I've also added some recruiter notes here. The client is, I mean, whatever, the candidate should be based in the US, but open to relocation to Texas, years of experience, whatever additional information that you have based on your conversation with the hiring manager. And then I'm using AI to actually read through the job description and also just, organize the information for me, because I'm going to use this later in my evaluation as well as on my outreach to the talent that matches the role perfectly, or is a strong fit for the role. And I get all these outputs coming from the AI itself. Um, And then I moved to building this entire list here. This is coming from Sales Navigator now. I've built certain workflows where you can use, LinkedIn Recruiter as well. I like using Sales Navigator. So I've built this entire list based on my search parameters and keywords on Sales Navigator. And then automatically the list comes inside my Clay table here. It is pushed through a webhook inside the Clay table. And then I have built a AI recruiter of sorts, wherein this is on Relevance AI. So it takes all these information from the Clay table, like the LinkedIn profile of the candidate, the job description, again coming from the table that I just showed you, and then we have all these parameters here that it is going to evaluate. So if I run this tool, for example, you'll see all these steps coming in. Essentially, I'm just trying to feed in the job description as well as the LinkedIn profile, and I've trained this entire workflow on a list of companies as well. So I've fed that into the knowledge base here in Relevance AI, where each company is tagged by, I mean, the reason why I do that is because industry tagging in LinkedIn or the companies tagged are always tagged with incorrect industries. So a good way of doing it is you use Clay Agent to actually visit the company and then tag that information based on the kind of tagging or the kind of classification you want to have for your industry. So, for example, if I'm in the renewable space, I would want to qualify a company as a developer company or an EPC company or a OEM company. And that is used again as a knowledge base inside this workflow, wherein based on the companies a candidate has worked in, the AI will be able to tell me what does his overall experience look like. So I'll show you here. For example, this is all the LinkedIn data that is coming in. The AI has given us a verdict for this particular candidate, matching it to the job description as not sure if this person is a good fit. And we have all the reasons also coming in here. What does the AI think overall, about their verdict with experience, the skills, education, and you can customize all the information here that you want. And then you can also, all this is again coming for, all I'm trying to understand how many years of experience does this person have in different industries here based on the type of companies he or she has worked in, and also checking for certain keywords here, and again tagging the different industries here, right? And all this information then flows back into my Clay table here, where this is the verdict that is coming against each candidate matched with that particular role. And the good thing about this workflow is you can, if I click this, you can even skip the personalization in the outreach messages. Or for the shortlisted candidates, you can, continue to have the personalization that is built by AI. So you can have a good control over this entire workflow. And you can use Clay to see here the companies, the candidates who have been shortlisted. So, for example, out of this list of 51, I think there are these two candidates that have been shortlisted here by AI. And if we look through the reason here, we can even see why does the AI think this person is a good fit. So demonstrated skills in project finance, capital raising, candidate has a strong background in renewable energy finance, holds whatever educational requirements in. Yeah, so you can read through all the good reasoning here as well, and you can also go to the not sure ones. So, for example, these are the ones that the AI was not sure about, and if you find that this person, okay, you go to the profile and you think, well, I think it's still worth reaching out to this person. You can just check here, shortlisted, and then again the campaign outreach campaign, will reach out. You can reach out to the candidate here automatically again. And the same holds true for vice versa as well. If you find someone has been shortlisted, but you're not too sure, you can uncheck this box and then the outreach would not happen. So there's a good human in the loop kind of a workflow here where A, you're saving time by AI actually doing all the shortlisting for you. And B, you're able to also control which candidates to reach out, which not to reach out. And if you can have your own intervention as well in this entire process. So yeah, I mean, overall, for example, for the shortlisted candidates here, let's say shortlisted AI, you would see this is finally, with personalization and everything that I showed you early on, this is the copy of the email. I mean, again, we can improve the copy, like, this is just an example again. So, but this is all coming from the job description. And we can also add why we think this candidate is a good fit based on what AI has suggested. And that can also go into the copy here, right? So, yeah, that's, how we see a lot of our clients also using AI to screen candidates and automate their entire outbound recruiting. Okay, any questions? I'm a bit worried if people are able to. I'm worried that there are no questions here.
There was a question from earlier. What program you suggest to play with that what was the program that you suggest to play with that? You've been trying for a few weeks where all the CRM, BD automation tools talk to each other. It was at the very beginning of the talk.
Let me just have a look here. Yeah, sorry, I didn't quite get the question. What is the program to play with?
Is there a program that you use that like kind of does the in between for all your different AI tools?
I mean, I am getting my hands on a lot of these platforms like N8N to build these AI agents and learn on things on my own, but there's no program as such. I'm just exploring new tools as they come in the market and see which ones are the good ones for our use cases, for our clients' use cases, and how does it compare with the existing ones. So yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
No problem. Okay, so moving to the other, some of the other use cases for talent sourcing with AI. Um, there are certain industries where the data on LinkedIn itself is not good enough for them to actually build a active talent pipeline, and creative recruiting is one of them. So say you're a creative recruiting company, you want to understand or you want to hire in leadership role, but specifically candidates or talent, or say director of you know creative director, but who has had the experience working with healthcare brands or beauty brands in the past. Now, this information is probably not going to be on LinkedIn. So you can again use Clay Agent inside Clay. And once you can actually do a good Google search of that person, find all the information that is available on Google for that, for their experience. People have their resumes online, people have their portfolios online. So this Clay Agent can actually go to those links, read through those, their portfolios, and actually come back and tell you if someone has actually worked in that particular sector as well. I've heard from people it takes weeks and weeks of time to actually build a active talent pool for such niche cases, but leveraging AI can, again, this can be done within hours, and you can, again, invest back the time that you saved to talk to people or build more relationships. I covered this slightly, but as we see AI come into picture, I think we'll be able to, every agency or company operating in a niche would want to have very good custom built search engine, talent engine for their own use case. And this is again possible because you can, in a way, you can research all the companies that exist in your niche. You can actually get all the data of candidates that exist in your niche or who you see to be growing in your niche. And you can enrich that data with platforms like Clay, or with relevance AI, you can also monitor some of the changes happening on the profiles as well, and build a system that actually works for you versus going into other systems. So there's a lot of customization. I'm hoping to see a lot of good custom softwares coming into this space for very niche use cases in 2025. And then we have a conversational chatbot. This image here, again, this is still work in progress, but you can, using voice flow, you can build good conversational chatbots, and this does not need any coding of sorts. So you can, just with a few video tutorials, you can actually understand and see and make things work. So in this particular case, for example, when someone comes to the careers page of a client, they want to know the email address of that candidate so that they can, if they're not a good fit today, they can still reach out to them in future. And this conversational chatbot can answer any questions a candidate might have about the role, or if they're looking for a role that probably is difficult to find in the job board, or they're looking to learn more about the company, everything can be answered by the chatbot itself. And once you have the email can again go to Clay, and we can again use a whole bunch of different parameters to again match them against the open roles and see if they're a good fit. And again, you can reach out to the candidate. So a lot of good inbound led outbound kind of workflows can be built inside Clay for candidates who are probably visiting a website and signing up or expressing interest in open roles. So yeah, it can significantly improve overall candidate experience as well. And the same is with, I think, AI voice uh, agents these days. You can have AI voice agents trained on all these different job openings, and they can, on your company or any internal knowledge base. And as soon as someone calls on a particular number, they can converse in, I think it's with 11 labs, the overall output and the quality of conversation, it almost feels like you're talking to a human. It's scary, but it's I mean it's pretty exciting stuff there as well, that it can actually answer everything on your behalf. So you can literally have it be used for even doing the first few screening rounds before even actually investing your time. You can have a voice agent call a candidate as soon as someone has filled a form or applied for a role, and just check on the basic preferences as well, which might not come across from their application. You can also have them ask or drill into certain specific, I would say, technicalities of the role, and you can get all that transcript. And again, you can see through the conversation as well after the call, and again take a call and then decide to further invest or further reach out to them to dive deeper into their experience and learning more about their experience and fit for the role. So all this can again be done, and this is in place right now. There are some good, I think, platforms that are enabling people like us to actually, without any use of coding, build all these voice agents for our use cases as well. On the outbound recruiting side, obviously, the response rates are a lot better. And with some of these custom built workflows, we've seen very strong results for our clients as well. In fact, working with a recruitment agency, I think in UAE, we've been able to help them scale from, it's a there were two people team, and we've helped them scale to, I would say, within 6 months, we've been able to close 15 to 20 roles for them, right? And this is just a two people team. So again, these systems can really help you move fast and make you a lot more productive if they're put to the right use. And that's where we see the results also coming from. We work with some of the leading, thought leaders in the space, and we've been able to drive some good results for them. So yeah, that's all about from my side. Open to any questions and anything else that people might be interested to know.
There's a question over here. Once the workflows are built, broadly, what sort of credits are needed in Clay to run these processes? And they say clearly realize it depends on the usage, but typically, what sort of budget does a small recruitment agency need to commit to Clay plus other tools on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so if you're looking to your basic package, I think for Clay would start at around 149. But if you're looking to integrate it with other external tools and have it talk to your systems, you are likely going to use a lot of API connects and functionalities which are available in the $349 plan. And so that is 349 there. If you're looking at relevance and all the stuff, again, I think 99 there, sequencing tool, depending on the number of people who are going to be using it, 100, $120. Overall, I think depending on the scale and the volumes you're looking at, you should be good within $500 to $750 a month kind of a thing, wherein all this can really automate a lot of your workflows. Yeah.
There was one question that popped up and I just typed in the answer, so it disappeared. But uh, somebody asked, what is a good tool for technical screenings?
Okay. So when we say technical screening, are we specifically referring to software engineering? I mean, there are so many roles which are technical, so it depends on the industry. But again, there are a lot of, for example, in software engineering, you have a lot of these good tools which are used for testing, checking your live coding skills or your programming knowledge or your technical knowledge. So um, I think a lot of companies use that side of the equation. But if you are to use, I mean, you can use GitHub to actually source a lot of software engineers and technical talent as well. And again, you can train AI on some of these, you know, you can have the AI check for how often certain keywords are repeated or in the order of recency, stack rank skills, so that if someone has done JavaScript or Python or whatever skills you're looking at in the recent 5 years, that will be given more weightage versus someone who's done it 10 years back. So you can use I generally like to use OpenAI 4.0 Mini, but you can also use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is again a LLM model, Anthropic. That also works very well, specifically with programming and coding kind of outputs or references. I think it works a lot better than OpenAI as well. So, I mean, you have to think through the use case here. What are the things you're looking to evaluate, and then you can actually build a AI workflow on top of it.
She chimed in as software engineers and data scientists and data engineers. So I know one program that I kind of like when it comes to like good for technical screenings is a website called Kaplunk. And you can actually like have it set up, like if you're doing quite a few screens, it does AI and even like preps the questions using AI too.
Nice.
And even does like coding challenges, then it'll track and see like also like where their eyeballs at to see if somebody's trying to cheat.
Yeah. So this is asynchronous platform, right? I mean, the candidates will have to just reply to these questions and
Yeah,
then,
this is like a candidate screening platform. Yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. It looks like that's all the questions. Um, Give me 1 second. Let me figure out how to pop my screen back on. All right. Well, I can't figure out how to actually get my camera back on. The joys of having little technical issues. There we go. When you're running live events. Well, Deep, I just want actually, we just had a few more people jump in. So before we say goodbye, we're going to answer these questions. With Clay working with LinkedIn data, do you believe that you can offset the high cost of LinkedIn Recruiter by going to Sales Navigator and a few of these AI tools?
Yes, you definitely can. I think I haven't I haven't used LinkedIn Recruiter in a long time for the same reason, because I think using a Sales Navigator is a lot more affordable, cheaper, and plus, I think if you have the data, you can use AI to classify the information the way you would like, and which is a lot better than actually doing the Boolean search on LinkedIn, getting the results, and spending time to screen each candidate individually. So, yes.
Awesome. And this is actually a fun one. What learning resource do you recommend for learning Clay?
Yeah, so I think Clay has their own university as well. You can definitely start from there. There are a lot of good people out there who are, also sharing. I would say they have some good programs out there. Nathan is I think definitely my go-to resource. That's where I think I started coaching and mentoring a lot of staffing and recruitment agencies on Clay as well. And they have a very good hands-on program that actually you will be assigned a dedicated coach who will work with you through all the technical weeds. They'll be able to brainstorm with you and help you get to the dream project. So there's quite a few of them, but I would say Clay Boot Camp is definitely something that I generally suggest to people.
All right. And somebody asked, do you assist companies with these workflows and system setups?
Yeah, that is what I do. So I work with staffing and recruitment agencies and help them build these bespoke workflows for their own business, be it on the talent acquisition side or on the business development side and anything that falls in between. So I act more like a AI recruiting engineer that works with the founders and the owners and the leadership team of these staffing and recruitment agencies and help them bring their ideas to life.
Awesome. And there's another question here that actually I had that question too. What tools are you using to bring data from Sales Navigator to Clay? Or is there an integration?
There are a lot of good ones. Actually, you can use Prospeo. You can build a list with Prospeo. You can, Gumloop is a neat automation platform, and that's just recently raised Series A as well. You can use them to actually build a custom flow that can extract the profile links, and then again using you can push it to a Clay webhook from there. And a lot of other good ones out there. I mean, most of the I mean, enrichment plugins, there is Sales QL that actually helps you with it. All the ones that actually helps you with good email enrichment kind of a data from the Chrome extensions can be used. You'll be able to push the data, you'll be able to download the data or push it to webhooks to the Clay table.
All right. I know he said Gumloop, but what was the first one that you said?
Prospeo.
Prospule.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked, uh, how would you build a talent search engine for a niche sector? Sorry if this was discussed, jumping in late. Um, I would say probably the easiest way to re-walk through that would be to actually go through VIP and re-watch the replay when I get it up because he actually did a good job walking through all that. I think probably about was it 15 to 18 minutes in, or I might be a little off on the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely watch the replay for that one because that was a little more in depth than just a quick Q&A question. Awesome. I think
Yeah,
that's
and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I've just dropped in my LinkedIn profile here. Please feel free to reach out and connect, and more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
cool. Awesome. Well, Deep, I just want to say thank you so much. AI is absolutely changing the game. You could 5x, 10x, and like what you talked about, what you've done with some of your clients, where they've just expanded exponentially because of the use of smart AI tools to grow their business. So, Deep, once again, awesome having you. This is the second summit that you've been part of. So, thank you, brother. And you know what? Make sure to follow him on LinkedIn. And for everybody else, I will see you guys shortly. Okay.
Thanks, Benjamin. Thanks, everyone. See ya.